Experts issue warning. Ice-free Arctic Ocean could become a reality by 2027. Due to climate change. Welcome to KM Celestial Journey, your portal to exploring the pressing challenges and wonders of our planet and beyond. Today, we dive into an alarming yet critical topic, the rapid decline of Arctic sea ice and the shocking possibility that the Arctic Ocean could experience its first ice-free day by 2027. This stark prediction underscores the urgent need for collective action to combat climate change and its far-reaching effects. How the Arctic is changing faster than expected. The Arctic Ocean has long been one of Earth's defining features, characterized by its thick, year-round ice cover. However, it now stands at the forefront of climate change, warming nearly 4 times faster than the rest of the world. This phenomenon, known as Arctic amplification, is driven by feedback loops that accelerate ice melt and increase global temperatures. A recent study published in Nature Communications predicts that we could see the Arctic's first ice-free day as early as 2027, depending on seasonal warming trends. This timeline is alarming, given that such an event was initially expected decades later. While projections vary, the consensus among experts is clear. An ice-free Arctic day is inevitable if greenhouse gas emissions continue at their current levels. The data highlights a 13% decline in Arctic sea ice per decade since satellite observations began in 1979. September 2023 marked the 6th lowest sea ice extent on record, with just 4.23 million square kilometers of ice remaining. This is a drastic reduction from the average 6.85 million square kilometers recorded in the late 20th century. The role of sea ice in climate stability. Why does this matter? Arctic sea ice plays a crucial role in regulating Earth's climate. It acts as a natural air conditioner, stabilizing temperatures, supporting diverse ecosystems, and reflecting sunlight through a process called the albedo effect. This reflective property helps cool the planet by bouncing a portion of solar energy back into space. When sea ice melts, darker ocean water is exposed, absorbing more heat instead of reflecting it. This creates a dangerous feedback loop where warming accelerates further ice loss, exacerbating global climate change. Sea ice also influences the Earth's weather patterns. By controlling the flow of warm and cold air masses, it helps stabilize the polar jet stream. As ice diminishes, the weakened jet stream leads to erratic weather events, such as prolonged heat waves, intense storms, and unexpected cold spells in regions far from the Arctic. The science behind the prediction. To understand when an ice-free Arctic might occur, researchers utilized 11 climate models, running over 366 simulations. These simulations analyzed different emission scenarios and seasonal variations. Worst-case scenario, an ice-free Arctic could happen as soon as 3 to 6 years from now if we experience unusually warm seasons. Most likely timeline. Many models predict the event will take place in the 2030s, but even these are cause for concern. Regardless of the timeline, the models agree on one thing: an ice-free Arctic day is no longer a question of if but when. The study also revealed a startling fact. Even under the most optimistic scenarios, where greenhouse gas emissions are drastically reduced, the first ice-free day cannot be avoided entirely. This highlights the extent of damage already done and the need for both mitigation and adaptation strategies. The first ice-free day, what it means. An ice-free day doesn't mean the Arctic will remain ice-free permanently. Instead, it refers to a temporary condition where sea ice extent drops below 0.3 million square miles, 1 million square kilometers. This milestone is symbolic of a much larger problem. According to climatologist Alexandra Jean, it represents the loss of a defining characteristic of the Arctic ecosystem. Year-round sea ice has been a hallmark of the region for millennia, supporting wildlife like polar bears, seals, and walruses while influencing global weather patterns. The loss of this ice will disrupt ecosystems, increase ocean temperatures, and potentially alter currents that drive global climate systems. For example, the melting of Arctic ice contributes to the slowing of the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, AMOC, a critical ocean current system that regulates temperatures across the Northern Hemisphere. The devastating impact on global systems. The repercussions of an ice-free Arctic extend far beyond the region itself. Rising temperatures. With less ice to reflect sunlight, global temperatures will rise more rapidly. This increase could push the planet closer to critical climate thresholds, such as surpassing the 1.5 degrees Celsius warming target set by the Paris Agreement. Sea level rise. While melting sea ice doesn't directly contribute to sea level rise, it destabilizes land-based ice sheets, particularly in Greenland. If Greenland's ice sheet were to melt completely, it could raise global sea levels by up to 7 meters. Disrupted weather patterns. The loss of Arctic ice can weaken the polar jet stream, leading to extreme weather events such as prolonged heat waves, heavy rainfall, and severe winters in unexpected regions. Ecosystem collapse. Marine species dependent on ice for survival face extinction, while indigenous communities relying on these ecosystems for sustenance and culture are deeply affected. Economic implications. Melting Arctic ice opens new shipping routes, increasing human activity in the region. While this might boost trade, it also risks oil spills, pollution, and further harm to fragile ecosystems. What can be done? The power of emission reductions. Despite the grim outlook, there is hope. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions could delay the first ice-free day and lessen its impacts. Drastic reductions in carbon dioxide emissions in particular could help preserve remaining sea ice, buying time for ecosystems and human societies to adapt. This would require global cooperation and immediate action, including transitioning to renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydropower. Implementing strict regulations on industrial emissions and promoting carbon-neutral technologies. Promoting sustainable agricultural practices, which account for a significant portion of global emissions. Reforestation and afforestation efforts to capture carbon naturally. Investing in carbon capture and storage, CCS technologies, to remove excess CO2 from the atmosphere. Every effort counts. Each ton of carbon dioxide avoided is a step towards slowing the pace of change. How you can make a difference. Addressing climate change isn't just about international agreements, it's about individual action too. Here are some practical steps you can take. Reduce your carbon footprint. Opt for energy-efficient appliances, reduce waste, and consider alternative transportation methods, like cycling or carpooling. Support renewable energy. Choose green energy providers or install solar panels if feasible. Advocate for policy changes. Use your voice to push for sustainable policies at local and national levels. Educate and inspire. Share information with friends and family to raise awareness about the urgency of climate change. Adopt a sustainable lifestyle. Shift towards plant-based diets, consume less, and focus on sustainable brands. Even small actions, when multiplied globally, can lead to significant changes. Looking ahead. The Arctic as a climate barometer. The Arctic's transformation is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of Earth's systems. What happens in the Arctic doesn't stay in the Arctic. It ripples across the globe, affecting weather patterns, sea levels, and biodiversity. This impending ice-free milestone is not just a wake-up call. It's a call to action. Scientists urge us to recognize the Arctic as a critical indicator of planetary health. By acting now, we have the opportunity to shape the future and preserve the fragile balance that supports life on Earth. A 2019 report from the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, highlighted that every fraction of a degree in reduced warming counts. Delaying the first ice-free day, even by a few years, could significantly reduce the stress on ecosystems and give humanity time to adapt. Final thoughts. As we face the reality of an ice-free Arctic, we must confront the broader implications of climate change. While the challenges are immense, so are the opportunities for innovation, collaboration, and resilience. At KM Celestial Journey, we believe that understanding these issues is the first step toward meaningful action. The Arctic's fate is not sealed. It's in our hands. Together, we can make a difference, one decision at a time. Let's protect our planet and ensure that future generations inherit a world where the wonders of nature, like the Arctic ice, are preserved for years to come.